everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Unlocked podcast, the podcast where we unlock the latest tech news, leaks, and rumors in the world of tech, and in particular, the world of Apple. And today, first of all, I'm one of your hosts, Benji from BenObi Tech, and I'm joined, as always, by my fellow co-host, Taylor from from Mr. Smartwatch. And today we have a special guest with us. We have Lewis, who is an artist. And today's episode is going to work a little bit differently, guys, for those who are watching or listening, because normally we talk about tech news on this show, but we thought we'd take a little bit of a break, seeing as we're kind of in a tech news drought in some ways. And so today we have an artist with us who uses Apple products on the daily basis for his own personal life and also to create music. So it's going to be an interesting episode. It's going to be good, a bit different from usual. If you guys don't want to listen to this, then fine, but you're gonna miss out because it's gonna be a great podcast. But Absolutely. How are you guys doing? That's enough of me talking. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good, my friend. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So
no problem.
I'm doing great, except I thought it was Monday when it's actually Tuesday. Yeah, that Memorial Day just threw me off.
Well, I'll be honest. Me and my friend, we went to we go to this like office building every week, where we rent out like a desk and stuff, and we do some planning. And I was convinced, like it was Saturday today for some reason. So I'm even worse than you.
Last time we planned this podcast, as you guys know, I wasn't able to do it because right before the time we were supposed to go, I completely forgotten. I went out with my mom. And yesterday I texted Taylor. I was like, man, I just had the biggest heart attack in the world because I thought yesterday was today. Because Taylor had texted me in the morning. He's like, hey, man, just to make sure we're still on for tomorrow, whatever. But I thought when he texted me in the morning, it was the day before. So I'm like, oh, my God. I look at the clock. It's like 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what have I done? Again, I just missed them again. I was like, no way. And then I text Taylor. He's like, bro, it's literally Monday today. I was like, oh, okay, I'm all right. I'm good. Still,
who knows? Maybe we've skipped into another dimension, and everyone's sense of time has just gone crazy.
Listen,
very.
I'm definitely there. Honestly,
never know at this point.
You know what?
But
doing the short that I did today on my channel, Benji. I was like, all right, did I already upload today? No, it was yesterday. Never mind. All right, I'm good to go. I'll post it. So you know what? We all have those days. But so let's get into the questions here.
I think before we get into the questions, Taylor,
sure.
Lewis, do you mind introducing yourself a little bit and letting everyone know who you are, where you come from?
Yeah. So
things like that.
So my name is Lewis. On stage, I'm Luizinho, and I'm a Luso-American artist who's pretty much just starting off at the moment. You know, I get a couple of shows per year. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was just in California. I got my first show in California, so that was always a fun time. And we're just starting off, and but yeah, I mean, it's always a fun time. It's always a good time doing what I'm doing. It's doing what it's what I love. It's my passion. And yeah, of course, you get to meet a lot of friends along the way, and of course, I always have that backbone of support from my family. So it's really amazing, and like we're gonna talk about today, Apple has made it a lot easier for me as an inspiring artist, as an artist who's starting off today. They make it with a lot of their programs. They make it easy enough for a person to kind of start off and kind of lay down their rough ideas, their rough songs. So it's a very good program that I'm going to explain to you guys in a little bit. But there's a really good program out there that Apple offers. In fact, there's a 90-day free trial that you guys can try it out. So it's amazing. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well then, Taylor, do you want to take it away with the first question we have for Lewis?
Yeah, sure. So, how did you get into music? I mean, other than being a full-blown Portuguese, that's surrounded by that all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, as you know, my family probably like yours. You know, once in a while we'd always go to those festas and the humarias. And what I do remember from the little I do remember from being in Portugal is, you know, after I'd be going to these parties and these events, and all I remember doing is sitting next to the stage, just looking up at the band playing and kind of being fascinated by all the cool colors the lights were, going off, and that crazy sound that made your whole body vibrate. It was
Yeah,
honestly amazing, and that kind of stuck with me until I got to the states. And as soon as I got to the states, people knew my passion for the accordion, and after that, my club actually gave me my first accordion, and ever since then, I've been I've been doing, I've been recording, I've been doing shows, I've been doing stuff, and hopefully there's a lot more stuff coming soon. But yeah, man. That's pretty much how I got started into this business.
yeah, and you're going strong, man. I mean, you said
Thank
it
you, man.
yourself. You're
Thank you, man.
you're gonna be the next gen, and you're gonna keep these traditions alive.
Thank you very
And
much.
uh, honestly, man, keep it up. Don't
Thank you
give up. I know things are hard, especially with the times that we're in. But
for sure. Yeah, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
no,
Yeah,
no
that's
problem, man.
awesome.
Of course,
I think it's always inspiring to hear like stories of how people started, because it kind of goes and reminds me of how I got started with like videography and things like that. And it was just, yeah, I something I really enjoyed, something I love to do, and now I get to do for basically a living almost. So
it's amazing.
it's awesome.
Good stuff.
So talking a little bit more about kind of like the tech side of things, what devices do you currently use, I guess, for your music production?
So for producing, so I'm currently on a different Mac, but right now, so for my actual work, I'm using a Mac that's 15-inch with 1 terabyte, with 1 terabyte storage over here. But it's very good. It runs well. It has whatever I need to run, and not a lot of the times. I mean, either way, I feel like if you were to get a PC at the same time, you would still get that amount, because as you could tell, you spend a lot. Macs are expensive. You know what I mean? Macs are expensive, of course, but
Yeah,
for you to get a good amount of whatever storage and running processors and whatnot on a PC, it's also very expensive as well. So it kind of adds up. But me personally, I like using Macs because of their programs that they already have there. But yeah, I just use I think it's a 2018. I think it's a 28 15-inch Mac. But yeah, for me it works great.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, being I guess a kind of a professional as well, I completely agree with what you said there, with how Apple has a lot of like programs and stuff for professionals. Like
For sure.
they make, I'm sure you probably use Logic Pro maybe or
So
something like that.
that is one very 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 popular one that they use. Me personally, I use a third party app. It's called Cubase. Cubase is pretty much it's kind of like Logic, kind of like, so pretty much every sort of recording software. You got Pro Tools, you got Logic, you got Cubases, you got whatever. It all kind of sums up to be the same thing, right? And I tried Logic for a little while, but it didn't have as much features as I would like it to have. So pretty much, I just kind of transferred over to Cubase, which for me has been working great, and it's also Mac compatible. So that to me was great. Uh, I mean, they all have good programs. I feel like, so whenever you get your Mac, it already comes with GarageBand installed into it, and
Yeah,
GarageBand on your phone is one thing, but on your Mac is completely different. You have a lot more control of whatever
yeah,
you're trying to do on the Mac. When it comes to finalizing and mixing songs, the Mac is much better. It kind of opens up new opportunities
but
for yourself, and especially with the GarageBand app, which is something that we see on our phones, and we've all opened it up before and played with the little drum set has in it. But it's a lot more different on the Mac because you could play with that drum set and you can make it sound professional, and it's a completely free app. So it is completely free. You know what I mean? So that's how you that's how you could tell that Apple kind of has it, superior than everybody else when it comes to music, because there's almost every Luso Portuguese person I know uses Mac for their day-to-day
Yeah.
producing.
Yeah.
I honestly like so many of artists that we know, Portuguese artists in specifics, use Mac and Apple products in general, and I mean their work is just amazing. So
Yeah, I
um,
mean, and it also helps
it's
out.
great to see. It's great to see that people can use the Mac and Apple products in general for music.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually started seeing lately people starting to use iPads during their shows,
Yes,
which is
yes.
something big as well now, because now
Now,
Cubase, now apps like
mhm,
Cubase have now started to come out on iPad, which is absolute
right.
game changing. So that's really nice. And of course, me personally, I use an iPad as well to control my little playbacks I have behind me. Of course, my
Mhm.
voice and my accordion is done live, but I have backing tracks behind me. So all that is run by an iPad. I just hook up an aux cable to the front of the house speakers, and yeah, I just turn around. I have it on a little stand, and I press, and there
And
we go.
that's how like most artists do it. Especially like we know David DeMello, who's a very famous Portuguese singer.
Yep.
He uses the iPad, and he just like whenever he sings alone without his band, that's what he does, and it's great to see it.
Yeah, and it
Uh,
works well.
yeah, yeah. So, what apps do you use when you're creating?
So, like I said before, the apps that I use are normally Cubase, but I've also worked with Logic. I've worked with Logic, and I've done a little bit of work with Pro Tools, but that's just a little bit. But yeah,
Okay,
but my main app that I use is Cubase.
awesome, awesome.
Great.
Um,
Um, and like how long have you been using Apple products for? I guess have you ever used like PCs and stuff to do any of your music
Yeah, I
or
have.
anything like that?
I've used before I had the money to get a Mac. I was using a PC. It worked. It worked just as fine. As well as it had just the features as well. It had the features. It had the compatibility. It was great. But after a certain amount of time, I don't know what happened to the PC, but it just started, it started kind of choking up on me. So I was like, you know what, I have the amount of money now. Let me get a Mac. So I got the Mac, and it works fine as well. I mean, as of now, I have no issues. I actually have two. I'm running off a MacBook Pro 2019, and then I have the 2018 right here for my work stuff. So yeah.
that's great. I when it comes to what I do and what Benji does, like I was using PC for God, what Benji, like a year or two, maybe
Yeah, something
more.
like that.
And when we started streaming together, uh, my like I had one of those desktops that had the built-in webcams, and
Yeah.
that thing was just a piece of junk. I mean, compared to
Yeah.
what we do now, it's just like, bruh. And it gets the job done, whatever. But like, if you really want to get it done professionally, bruh, you got to use a Mac. I'm sorry, but you got to use a Mac.
Well,
Um,
it's one of the
that's
things that
just
I mean, you also have to look at that the webcam on the Mac, which is what I'm using right now, it's also not the greatest looking thing in the world.
Right.
But
Right.
one thing is for sure, Macs are good at points, but I feel like I have I have worked with it for music, and the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I like Macs is because of music. I honestly like on my personal day to day use, I'd rather a PC. So that's currently what I have on my desktop. On my desktop, I have an HP PC because that's just what I
Mm-hmm.
prefer. So I
Right.
prefer those instead of the Macs for day to day use. For music, for sure, Mac is superior.
Yeah.
But for my day to day use, I feel like
I
PCs are more towards that way. But the thing is, for you to do professional things, it doesn't really have to be Mac. So I kind of disagree with you on that because, so I just went to California like 3 weeks ago, right? I went to
mm-hmm.
California
Mm-hmm.
and they had the whole show recorded, right? And this whole show was being ran by a PC that kind of it switched the camera angles and everything, and the production came out amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing. So that's why I kind of have to
Oh
disagree with you on
no,
that point.
there's definitely great PCs out there.
For
I
sure,
gotta say,
for sure.
but um, I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I'm an Apple fan and I have everything Apple, and that's
Yeah,
how I've
for
run.
sure.
We
I
run
get
our stuff.
I guess it also depends on like yeah the types of things you're doing because I mean yes the for things like productions like that I'm sure there's not that many programs that they can use on a Mac and also Macs are only so powerful and at a certain level they're upgradable as well
Yeah.
but yeah for like more of kind of like the not fully professional but almost professional work I think Macs work really well like I mean even especially in like the movie business and kind of stuff like Pixar uses Macs and Disney uses Macs and a bunch of other companies like that but I mean in terms of music stuff I think sometimes PCs are
And
And like I
a
said,
bit
and
superior.
what I'm talking about for me is it's I call them casual Macs. Casual Macs are kind of like the Mac that the 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 normal college student buys
yes,
for their
yes.
schools and whatnot. Of course, those companies, Pixar and this and that, whatever, they have, you could build a Mac that's almost $9,000 if you really wanted to. Okay,
Hmm.
with more than,
Hmm.
pics and this and that and storages and blah 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 blah. So, but what I'm saying, if you're gonna take a normal Mac and try to make a professional production with it, it's very difficult, if not impossible, because you need a
Yeah.
certain amount of storage. You need a certain amount of capacity for it to be able to achieve
Right.
what you want it to achieve. It
Right.
it is difficult because so this is my normal Mac. This is my casual Mac that I'm talking you guys off of right now. For stuff like this, it's amazing. It's what I use. You know what I mean? Now you
Mhm.
cannot compare this Mac to that Mac because if you compare this Mac to that Mac, I've tried running programs on this. Actually, I bought this one. I bought this one because I thought it could run the program I wanted, and um
Yeah.
and just the program by itself is 500 something gigs. And yeah, 500, yeah. So just the program itself is 500
Damn.
something gigs. But I kind of looked at my Mac and I was like, okay, 300 gigs, that should be fine. Boom, I bought it. I took it home. I'm all happy. I go to download the program. I'm like, oh my God. So I have to start looking for other Macs. And
I
but
have.
that is the problem with Macs sometimes is you just kind of you either chip in a lot or it might not work for your what you need. But casual Macs, like I said, for college students are amazing. It's where it's at. Actually, this one has the little touch bar. I find it really helpful. It has a little touch bar. I'm here. If I need to mute, it's right here. It's like literally right in front of me. I just touch, boom, you set. So it's very useful.
I I I hate to inform you, and I don't know. I'm not sure if you know, but the newer Macs lose the touch bar, and I'm
Yeah,
really disappointed about that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Um,
I've got one of the newer ones and I miss the touch bar so much.
I mean,
it's useful, man. Yeah, you
they
don't use. I don't know.
Apple really changed the newer one to the old design.
Yeah.
And they really went back to their original design. So as soon as they were back to their original design, they brought back HDMI ports, I think, as well.
Yeah,
It was
A bunch of
they
other
and
ports.
they completely just changed the whole thing back to where it was. The SD cards, the SD cards weren't available at the time, but I don't know if you guys could see this. Actually, you guys can't because I have it plugged in, but I have to have a little um I have what's it called? It's a little dongle.
A dongle, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I just took a picture for you guys. Look, so it's a little
Something like
dongle that
this.
goes from everything into there. Exactly. So it goes,
Yeah,
it gives you USBs, it gives
literally.
you HDMIs and whatnot. So they kind of brought back that old Mac feel, which
Hmm.
I do like, but at the same time, the touch bar is useful. I still use it, but you also can't compare some of the new chips that they put into to the Macs. It's absolutely, it
Oh
blows
yeah.
everything out of the water.
Oh
Exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
The one thing that like for me, occasionally I would love to do, and you can with like Apple Arcade and stuff, but like real gaming on the Mac. That would be amazing. I actually have done. I actually to play with my friends on PlayStation. We've got a well, me because they're always on the PlayStation. I actually have an app that connects to my PlayStation, and sometimes I'll play off of there, and that's how I'll stream. Like I'll use StreamYard to stream sometimes and just share my screen and whatever. Um, but like that's another thing that I kind of feel like the Mac kind of lacks at is you know gaming. But if you want a game,
That's
I
the thing.
guess people will
The
go for
two main
desktops or
things, two main things that Macs were made for: day-to-day use
yeah,
and music.
yeah,
Those were the
yep,
those were the main things that Apple, contributed to make the Mac. Was it was
yeah,
day-to-day
yeah,
use for
and
college students, works and whatever, but
yeah,
mainly their main focus was music because you
and videos
before
and yeah,
before the Mac, you had never seen really a big a big market for a computer that was made for music. It was more
right,
it was more
right.
like you buy a computer, it works. It doesn't work, oh well, you got to buy another one. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's stuff
exactly.
that like stuff changed a lot. And like I said, these programs are every day getting better and better and better and better and better.
Oh
And that's
yeah, for
why
sure.
this Mac has 1 terabyte storage. So that's a lot of storage right here. So
Damn, bro.
that program I was telling you guys about that you guys went has that much
Yeah,
gigabytes. Yeah, it did nothing to this. So this thing's a
that's
machine. You know what I
awesome.
mean? Actually, sometimes I
Yeah,
forget to turn it off in the middle of the night, and whenever I'm sleeping, I'll just be sleeping, and the fan starts, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what's happening? I honestly feel like that there's a jet
Starship.
coming. Yeah, there's like some sort of. I feel like I'm getting abducted by aliens or something, but no, it's just my Mac calming down a little bit. But yeah,
that's
man,
awesome.
these things are machines for music and for a lot of personal use. And yeah,
So going to the next question here, how have Apple products helped you with your music?
I mean, man, it was more just the liability of it. Before Max, artists kind of had to kind of like make a project, kind of start recording, and then kind of hope that the software wouldn't go down. Because if the software went down, guess what happens to your project? Bye bye.
Yeah,
So, there was a lot of artists starting off where they were just, they start doing and they start recording vocals and blah 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 blah, blah and all of a sudden program and the absolutely and gone, all the work they did out the window. So
yeah,
I guess the liability of being able to save projects and being able to do this and do that and kind of fix everything to the way you want it to. And I have over in this MacBook, I have over I have over six something thousand sounds that I
wow,
could choose from. to record with. So it's very useful, and I feel like the thing that it's helped me improve is just the liability of it.
Right, right. Yeah, and that's one thing about the Mac. It's very reliable. Um, I feel like if I were to like use Windows Movie Maker on the PC, like half my projects that I do now, um, they would just get tossed away. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
tried it once, and I'm just like, you know what? I really need a MacBook. I'm sorry, I can't. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
What do you use to edit?
Especially, I actually have been using um VLLO on my iPhone, or Villo, whatever you want to call it. Um, but I use iMovie on here, and when I did, um, if I so like let's say my project was like a total of 10 minutes, and I'm talking about completely edited, like my full video was 10 minutes. Um, you would hear my fans go crazy. I don't know why, but I guess I probably got one of the lower ends. I
You
didn't
got a
really
casual
spec
Mac.
it out or anything. Yeah, I just got it casual. Like I didn't really think about getting something upgraded at the time anyway. So um, using it for that. But like if I were to do a 4 minute video, 5 minute video, everything will be fine. But then I started doing it on the go. So then um, I got into, like I said, Villo, and I really love it. It has like all different stickers and stuff. So honestly, like I don't even use my Mac as much as just for video editing and stuff like that. Occasionally and live streaming all the time, doing the
Sure.
podcast. So but I do want to grow and get up there and use apps like Final Cut Pro and stuff like that. Hopefully, I can in the future. But I do want to like try to grow my channel first.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Good stuff.
um,
Yeah, and I'm like a bit up. I've used Final Cut Pro for everything for all my videos, and for like a
yeah,
14-inch M1 Pro MacBook Pro, 1 terabyte. So yeah,
Cool,
yeah.
man.
crazy. But
So, oh yeah, for sure.
it works great for like what I need to do. Like I shoot
Yeah.
and edit in normally 4K, 60 frames a second, and stuff like that. So and the computer handles it completely fine. Where if I were to throw this at a PC in Premiere Pro, it probably would crash 5 times. That's like some experiences that I had.
Right, right.
It's
But
not
yet
been good.
again, yet again, here's my point. That you might experience that with a PC that's a lower end PC, but no matter what, you'll still experience that with a lower end Mac. You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
reason why you're not experiencing any problems is because, like you just said, oh yeah, M1 chip, this, that, 1 terabyte. That's why it's handling it so well. For example, if I were to load in some of the music stuff I have on this Mac and put it on this Mac, it would completely crash. So just like you're saying,
right.
like you're saying, oh yeah, if I were to load this in to a lower end PC, yeah, it would definitely would. But there also is a lot of YouTubers, a lot of producers, a lot of people who still use PC that it works completely fine for them. And it's kind of like I said, for the money that you could buy a Mac, you could buy a fairly good PC that'll do pretty much uh the same stuff as a Mac, and you won't have any problems with it.
I mean, I guess we've talked a little bit about like apps that Apple makes and kind of your thoughts on it. But what do you think are some things that Apple can improve on their pro apps to maybe make you want to use their products more as opposed to the competition, if that makes any sense?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just very much a couple of the sounds that they have on it. I mean, every app that you get that has something to do with it, it has to have sounds built into it. Or else, whatever. But me personally, I don't use those sounds. I use sounds that I have externally. that I get from plugins. But you have a couple of sounds, and the sounds that are there are good. You could tune them, and don't get me wrong, you'll not get bad sounds. They're pretty reasonable sounds, but at the same time, can they be better? Yes. Are they as good as their competitions that are on PCs and well that started from PC? No, not yet. Why? Because Apple has been working at this, less than other companies. But if you do look at it, can they work on their sounds? Yes, a lot. It has a lot of room to improve compared to their competitors. But like I said, it's already a great software. There's a lot of artists that use Logic. There's a lot of artists that use Logic. Just me personally, it's not my cup of tea. Uh, I'd rather, like I said, I use the Mac because the Mac is a great computer. It's a great thing. But software wise, I use Cubase.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that Apple needs to kind of up their game with, because I remember like what I used Logic for a little bit, and they're like, yeah, the lack of sounds for different things, even with like their other editing apps like Final Cut Pro, like there's there's not that many sound effects that can be used,
Yeah.
and it would be nice if Apple were to add more stuff like that instead of having to like go and hunt for your own sounds kind of thing. It's kind of like
Yeah.
sometimes you want a program that just has everything
Yeah.
and you don't have to go and hunt for plugins or different things.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, makes things easier for everyone.
And it's and
And I
it's a
guess
lot cheaper. And it's a lot cheaper because with the Apple you just kind of get what you get and it's cheap. You know what I mean? Like the
Yep.
program Cubase I was talking about, it's 500 something bucks. Meanwhile, Logic is 200 something. So it's a completely it blows it out of the ballpark. But then on top of that, I have to pay for the extra sounds on the program that I'm at. So the program that I had, I pay for the extra sounds. So but at the same time, at least I have that option to do so. While as
exactly.
Apple
Yeah,
kind of just stays on their sounds and that's it, no more, no bet.
it's like if you want more sounds, go buy from a third party,
Yeah, it's it.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you have to go through like the whole process of installing it and everything. Yeah, but anyway, what is your favorite Apple product of all time? Like if you had to choose one.
That's a great question. Um, I guess the obvious answer. Okay. So I was gonna say my phone, but my favorite Apple product, I'm gonna show you it right here, is this little guy right here. All right, these little guys, these
Oh.
little gu- these little guys have saved my butt on so many occasions. It's
Yep.
not even funny. Okay, all right, it's not even funny. Okay,
Yep.
look, ready? I just have it on the inside of my wallet. I'm like, hey, I'm not losing this thing. I am not losing this thing.
Dude.
Okay, because you know how many
Dude.
times I lose the wallet. Okay, my head's always everywhere. Okay, I'm always like searching. I'm always doing stuff, and I lose it, and then I hear this. So as soon as I hear that, I'm like, okay, I'm set. I know where it is, and plus it has this little cool little finder thing that I don't know if you're supposed to,
Yeah, bro.
kind
That's
of
the
finds
coolest
itself.
part.
So you could kind
And
of
that's
it's kind of like a hot and cold game. You could
Yeah,
kind of play with it, but it's very
for
it's a good
cool.
way of
It's
putting it.
very effective, and these things batteries last a long time. So these things are very good. When I went to
yeah.
California, I put one of these on every single of my concertinas. I put one of these on each one of my accordions. So in case if anything were to get lost, I just grab it real quick. But yeah, but I gotta say,
Shoot.
those are probably my favorite little Apple
For
accessories of all time.
for those listening on audio only, Lewis just showed us the AirTag that he has, and listen, man, it's one of my favorite products too. I think that the way that Apple has created the tracker to work on with the iPhone. The app is it's just awesome the way that it leads you to said product that you're looking for. You don't see that with other products, and honestly,
It also
Apple crushed it. Crushed it.
Yeah,
I completely agree. And it also has like the whole like it basically it sends a Bluetooth signal to every single iPhone in the area, no matter how like as long as it has a certain software version, you could basically find it almost anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's got a huge network compared to Tile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just thought of a question, Benji. You were talking about software and everything. Um, do you update your software on your devices whenever you have software updates?
Yes.
Smart man, smart man, smart answer.
Yeah.
Because I know people who don't, and it's just like, then you obviously don't care about your device and you want it to
Well,
blow up.
there's
You
certain
know?
music programs. There's certain music programs that will not work unless it's on the latest operating system.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you know, I think on the Mac that I'm talking to you guys on right now, I think I'm a couple ones behind actually, because this like I said, this is the computer that I kind of have for fun. I have it to you know
Yeah, it's one
call
that
call
you're not
friends and
using
just
for,
relax,
yeah.
and sometimes for schoolwork, whatever. But yeah, man, I normally do, especially on my other Mac. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good. Um, so our next question goes more into like um life and whatnot. So when did you come to the US?
Um, I came to the US when I was like 4.5. I was four and
Okay,
a half, so it was 2013, I guess. Yeah, 2013.
2013. Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Um, would you ever go back to Portugal? If not, where would you want to go?
I would definitely go back to Portugal, not to live, but it's a completely different lifestyle.
Yeah.
Um, you're here. I mean, if I was in Portugal, I wouldn't have all the stuff I have in my room at the moment. So it's a completely different lifestyle. I feel like Europe in general is a couple years behind the U.S. Um,
Yes.
but
Yes.
you
I
know,
live in the UK and I completely agree.
yeah. I mean, it's like there's nothing really. There's a lot of stuff that the Europe is missing on when it comes to the U.S. technology. So a lot of stuff here. All these programs, and then there's a bunch of people that helped me out as well. So that I would have never met. So I wouldn't go back to Portugal to live to vacation. Yeah, of course. I mean, if I could, I'd go there every year. But what's it called? The place I would go, probably Penafiel, which is my hometown over there. I still have family there. You know what I mean? So hopefully one day
Okay.
I'll get to see him again. But yeah, that's I guess where I would go.
How long has it been since you've?
See
I'm
my
just
family.
curious.
8.5 years.
Really, man,
Yeah,
bro,
and the
bro,
best part
you
is that
gotta
I
make it
barely
back there.
remember them. So I
Oh,
barely remembered them. No, no, that's how it is because I was I was
no, yeah,
I
yeah,
was I was
yeah.
4.5. So the people that I
That's
do remember
okay.
are the ones that we call on the phone. You know what I mean? Hey man, how are you?
Yeah,
As the Facebook. That's it, man.
yeah. If it wasn't for technology, we would be all lost. I mean, I remember when I was a kid that we used to have these calling cards. I don't know if it was the same in the UK, Benji, but we would have these calling cards that we would have a certain limited amount of time to talk to people, and it was just like, God damn. So if you use that up, like I remember occasionally I had like 2 minutes for a phone call, and I'm just like, God damn, So thank God for like
Hi,
apps.
bye.
Yeah, literally, literally. Um, so thank God for these new
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, man?
technologies.
You good? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, bye. That's it. That's all you had
Basically,
time for.
Yeah,
conversation over.
and,
Yep.
and you know what? So going back to that, like honestly, there would be times where we would get like a $20 card, and for the most part, they'd give you like 2 hours, whatever. But like, there are some cards that you would get, and it would give you 20 minutes, and those 20 minutes felt like 5. I kid you not. I'd be on the phone with my family, especially with my grandmother, and all of a sudden I would hear 2 minutes remaining. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? So then we would speed up the conversation. All of a sudden, I'm like, come on. So you know what? We gotta these days we gotta be thankful for what we have. Because honestly, I don't miss those days at all. You know.
Yeah. I guess
Um.
moving on to a bit more of like kind of music stuff now. What's some advice that you would give to like someone who wants to start making music? Like what are some tips that, or maybe some things that you wish you knew when you first started to play the instrument you play,
Um,
or sing or whatever?
Tips for everybody. You need to have a lot of patience. Lot of patience with yourself. Trust yourself. Trust your talent. Um, because no matter what happens, you're always gonna get criticism. It's guaranteed. It's bound to happen. Um, like it says, you can never make everybody happy. You can never make
Yes.
anybody happy, but you could damn well try. So you just have to kind of focus on yourself, trust in yourself, trust in your talent. And with time you'll start getting a couple shows, and then you'll start getting a little bit of money, and you'll start buying your first microphone stand, and then you'll start buying your first microphone, and then your first computer, and then you'll start kind of doing a little more shows, and a little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. And stuff adds up to that. And that's just how it is. And tips for everybody that's trying to learn my instrument, which is accordion. Same thing, just focus, focus, um, and just realize
But
that you have the talent for it. That's it.
the main thing for musicians and for anybody in general is just if you have a dream, go for it and never give up. Yes, things can be hard, but
100%.
if you want to get somewhere, you just gotta keep going.
That's it, bro.
So
I mean,
yeah,
last year I had little to no shows. This year I had a good 8, and 6 of them are to come already. So you know,
damn man. Yeah, hey, and I hear that you're coming to my area pretty soon as well. I just
New
got a
Bedford,
phone call.
Lowell,
No,
Lowell.
you're no in October. I guess you're gonna be doing that thing with
Oh,
our
with
buddy
Hugo, yeah,
Hugo.
yeah, yeah, in Taunton, yeah.
Yeah, in Taunton. Yeah, so that's awesome, man. So
Yes, sir.
I get to meet you in person.
Yeah, man, gonna be a good time.
Oh yeah, Hugo's like, you better be there, or else I'm dragging your ass. I'm like, goddamn, okay.
He'll tell you.
But so last question we have for you: what apps would you recommend for other artists to make their music creation easier slash better?
If you're starting off, start off with Logic. Actually, I'm lying. If you're starting off, start off with the GarageBand. See how you get to know that program really well. As soon as you get to know that program really well, yeah, I would move on to Logic, and and after that, you just kind of get to feel around. You could try Cubase, you could try Pro Tools,
Hmm.
kind of get a feel for what you like better. Because as soon as you learn Logic, everything else is, I'm gonna speak in Portuguese for a little bit. Like how we say, todas as estradas vão ter a Roma. Okay, it's always the same thing. Okay, no matter
Yeah,
where you
I
go,
love that saying. I
it's always
love that saying. All
you know.
roads lead to Rome.
Yeah,
It's
that's it.
true. It
So
it's
you know what I
really
mean.
true.
And after you kind of learn Logic, it's kind of like the same thing. If of course it's different formats, but at the end of the day, you kind of get to use your skills that you learned on Logic on the other
Yeah,
one. So
for sure.
yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Awesome.
Um
Taylor, do you have any other questions that you might want to ask, or?
Actually I do. Do you have any questions for us?
Um, how did you guys get into this whole thing, the whole podcast makings and videos and?
My story's a bit longer, so Taylor, you can start.
Sure. So for me, I always wanted to, um, you know, talk about tech and whatnot, but I wanted to also make it easier for people who are out on the road and, or, just don't have access to internet, YouTube, whatever. So I wanted to give them a second place to find us and just listen to what we have to say about tech and the topics that we choose each and every week to talk about. Um, I I was doing a show um, last year or year before, and that was mainly interviewing smaller creators and trying to give them a chance to grow their channels because there's a lot of people in the tech community that um, they do amazing work and they weren't getting they weren't getting noticed, they weren't getting what they deserved. So I wanted to help them and give them that opportunity. And for a lot of people, I did, and I gave them a few subscribers and whatnot, and it was a lot of fun. Um, but then I started thinking, I want to change it up, do tech news, and do what we do today. Um, it's been a lot of fun. Benji, what about you, man?
So my story is a bit, I guess, long story short, really. Like I've always had a passion for like video and content creation since I was like a little boy. And then I ended up starting making YouTube videos. I made Lego stop motions, and then a couple years later, that led to getting more into like involved in technology and starting a whole technology channel. And yeah, I guess one thing led to another. I met Taylor as I was
Yeah,
a content creator, and he was just starting out. I remember his first few
my
videos.
I wasn't. I'm gonna be honest. When I first started my channel, I wasn't thinking of going as far as doing tech news and products and stuff like that. My first ever video was of the iPhone 10, and I wanted to show off the capabilities of it because it had amazing camera for that time, and I wanted people to see it because I just loved how the pictures, we had portrait mode and we had all the other stuff. So I made that one video, and also a lot of people were asking me because they knew I was into cell phones and stuff like that. Different questions about what to do with different softwares and stuff. So instead of answering them each and every time they would ask me, I would, I was gonna make videos and be like, okay, this is for that person, this is for that whatever, and then my channel just started growing. I started going live with different people, Benji, and all these other creators, and here I am today. I mean, this is Mr. Smartwatch. This is my um, you know now new channel that I'm doing, and this channel is focused more on smartwatches, low budget, high budget things that people don't ever see before, because there are a lot in this channel. My perspective is there are a lot of low budget smartwatches out there that you can get that work with both iOS and Android. You don't need to go out and spend your money on an Apple Watch for like $400, $500, a Samsung Watch for like $300, $400, whatever the cost on that is. Um, there are good watches out there that you can get because I know a lot of people that 1 minute they'll have an iPhone and then the next minute they want to go to Samsung, and instead of buying the whole ecosystem of Apple products, the iPhone, Apple Watch, whatever. Um, Having something that works with both ends is, to me, easier and a lot cheaper. Yeah, it probably doesn't work as best as an Apple Watch would or whatever, but it still works, So
Yeah, for sure.
that's just me. That's just me, man. But
Yeah, man.
hey, you know what? I love what I do, and I wouldn't. I've been so I was working for 4 years at a Walmart, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong. Sadly, they had to let me go. Actually, me and a couple other people, and then this just started becoming my thing, my hobby, and I'm hoping to grow the channel and get people to subscribe more, and hopefully I'll get to the point where YouTube actually pays me. But until then, here we are today,
It's nice, man.
But yeah, so
Well, I'm proud of
but
you and your accomplishments you have done, and man, just keep going forward.
Yeah, man, me too. Same to you, bro. Here on the podcast, like we were saying before, we do a lot of tech news and stuff like that, but we like to change it up a little bit and bring outsiders that use Apple products in their day-to-day life and in their jobs or whatever, and get their perspective on it. So it was a pleasure having you, man, and thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And
Have
for
an
everybody who's watching or listening, if you want to follow Luis or any of us, all the links will be in the description below. And I guess this was episode 34 of the Tech Unlocked podcast, and we will catch you guys next week.